happy Monday, everybody. Monday, May 16th. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you got a great week lined up. Now, we're in our morning check-ins looking at the life of the prophet Elijah. And right now, we're looking at his prayer life in 1 Kings 18. Because this is the example that James talks about in James 5 when he says Elijah had an energetic prayer life that accomplished much. And we're looking at different characteristics of an energetic prayer life as seen in the life of Elijah. Now, we saw last Friday the first characteristic. He prayed in solitude. He found a place where no one could see him, where no one could hear him, and there he prayed. Now, I want to look at two more today because they go together. They're like the heads and tails of the same coin. The next one is this. He prayed in faith. Now remember, it said in that passage, 1 Kings 18, and it tells us that in verse number 41, that Elijah said to Ahab, "Go up, eat and drink, for there's the sound of a heavy shower." Now, it had not rained in 3.5 years. So what's the first thing that Elijah does? He says, "King Ahab, it's going to rain." And then you know what Elijah did? He went and prayed and said, "God, please let it rain." He predicted it first. Then he prayed about it. Man, that's faith. He prayed in faith. Now, the New Testament teaches us to pray the same way. Listen to James 1, 6 and 7. "But when you pray, when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because he who doubts is like a wave blown and tossed by the wind, and that man, the man that doubts, should not think he'll receive anything from the Lord." God wants us to pray in faith. Now, here's the big question. How could Elijah do that? How could Elijah predict rain, then say, "God, please make it rain"? I mean, can I go down to Miami, Florida today and announce on TV it's going to snow and then say, "God, please let it snow"? Is that the same thing? Well, there's an ingredient you need to know. Now, let me back this train up to 1 Kings 18, verse 1. It's in verse 41 that he says to the king, it's going to rain. But if you go all the way back up to verse number 1, it says this. "Now it happened after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah, saying, 'Go show yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain on the earth.'" How could Elijah, by faith, predict rain and then pray for it? Because God had already promised it. And that's the third characteristic of prayer. Energetic prayer prays in solitude. An energetic prayer life prays in faith. But an energetic prayer life also prays according to God's will and promises. Why could Elijah predict that this would happen and then go pray and ask God to make it happen? Because God had already promised it. See, I can't go to Miami and predict snow and then pray. Why? Because God hasn't already promised it. The best way to add energy to your prayer life is to pray the promises of God, to pray His will. In fact, that's how the New Testament teaches us to pray. Listen to 1 John 5. "This is the confidence which we have before Him, that if we ask anything," key phrase, "according to His will, He hears us, and if He hears us, He answers us." Now notice, it doesn't say, if we ask anything, we get it. It doesn't say that. I know some preachers today that teach that. If you just claim it, if you just say it out loud, power of your words, it'll happen. It's not what the verse says. It doesn't say, if we ask anything, it'll be done. It says, if we ask anything according to His will. Folks, listen, God will not answer any prayer that's not according to His will. That's why Jesus prayed, "Not my will, but yours be done." You want to add energy to your prayer life? You get in the Bible every day. You learn the promises of God. You learn the will of God. And then by faith, you pray that God will perform His promises and His will, and you will be amazed at what God does. That's good news on a Monday. I hope you'll share this on your Facebook page. And join us again tomorrow morning as we continue to look at characteristics of an energetic prayer life. Have a great Monday.